Swish, swish, bish. It's me, Sarah. And I am so fucking sick of thinking about stupid Brett Kavanaugh. Honestly, if I think of his frowny pink face and his pert plus hair one more time, I'm gonna puke. Trump even held a ceremony for Kavanaugh where he apologized on behalf of the nation, declared victory as always, and added,
"You, sir, under historic scrutiny, were proven innocent."
And you, sir, under historic scrutiny, will be pooping in a cell. I'm very proud of that. So now Kavanaugh's on the court and ready to decide the case of taste great versus less filling. What's even more upsetting is the GOP is seeing an actual bump from this Kavanaugh shit.
The Kavanaugh bump is real.
Shut up, dummy. God, I wish I could get through to the 52% of white women who put Trump in office, but they're too far gone. So instead, I am looking to young people. Young Thug, Young Dolph, Lil Pump, Lil Uzi Vert, but also young people who aren't rappers, because only 23% of young people voted at all in the 2014 midterms. And I know you don't want to hear this from me, your Auntie Sarah, who happens to have a cherry bomb of a caboose, by the way. So take it from your buddy Taylor Swift. T. Swift has never been political before, but this week she went on Instagram and said she would vote for 2 Democrats in Tennessee, and it is a very big deal because Taylor has a massive amount of reach. She has 112 million Instagram followers. She's not just a pop star, she has the following of 2 Italys. And Republicans' knee-jerk reaction, of course, is to tell her to stay out of politics. Hey, you can't give Kanye a free ticket to the White House and then tell Taylor to stay in her lane. They are both tax-paying citizens. They can talk about whatever they want. You know who should shut up? Tax dodgers, which would be great because then we wouldn't have to hear from big fat President dumb shit. And yes, Taylor's a little late to the game and waited until the American leg of her tour was over to speak up. But hey, better late than never, ever, getting back together. Fuck. Her songs are so catchy. Look what you made me do. Cold shower before the monologue. Oh, there's no time? That's okay, I'll do it horny. I want to talk to you guys about climate change. Wait, don't switch over to Bosch. Hurricane Michael just happened. It's the 3rd most powerful storm ever on record to hit the US. It was big, it was on every channel. But you know what is not on every channel? The reason these storms are getting more powerful and more frequent. God punishing gays. No, it's climate change. It's climate change. And I know climate change is not the most exciting issue, and the media knows it too, which is part of why it's covered so infrequently. Here is MSNBC anchor Chris Hayes responding to the question of why he's not airing more segments on climate change. Almost without exception, every single time we've covered it, it's been a palpable ratings killer, so the incentives are not great. You know what's a great incentive? We're all gonna fucking die. How about that for an incentive? Look, my show would get better ratings if I just described the dongs of dudes I've dated. But climate change is an emergency, and one you definitely will not get a presidential alert for. So maybe this gets shared a little less than normal, but I feel compelled to use my platform to speak out. Granted, my platform is on the 3rd largest streaming network of 3. So it's not so much shouting from the rooftops as, like, complaining at an open mic at Panera Bread. Still, this is happening, so put down your broccoli cheddar soup and buckle up. This past week, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, let's call it IPCC, released a report showing that on our current path, we will face apocalyptic levels of flooding, wildfires, and famine by 2040. which is not just in our lifetime, but really fucking soon. It's 2040. Cardi B will be like, ew, my age, gross. I know there are so many problems right now. You know, people can't afford rent and face crushing student loan debt and medical bankruptcy. White supremacy is being further entrenched by a far right-wing government. Taco Bell still hasn't made the naked chicken chalupa a permanent menu item. But we cannot ignore the meteor hurtling towards Earth just because our house is on fire. 2018 is on track to be the 4th hottest year in recorded history. You want to guess what the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd hottest years are? Too late. It was the last 3 years. This is fucking happening, despite what Fox News grandpas think. Unfortunately, a Fox News grandpa is our president.
So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that. A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
Yeah, it's a hoax, like Sandy Hook or the Holocaust or you making women come. You know, one of those hoaxes that 97% of the world's scientists are in cahoots on. I don't think I've ever said the word cahoots before. Cahoots, it sounds Yiddish. I think it's a Yiddish word for having diarrhea in a public square. Look, the Paris Agreement was meant to keep global warming to under 2.6 degrees. Even in the unlikely event we hit that target, there is a good chance we are totally fucked and we cannot get unfucked.
Excuse me, Sarah? Hi, I'm a dumb guy, and I'm having trouble following all these stats on account of my oatmeal-like brain.
Oh, right. Okay, 2.6 degrees does not sound like a big deal. You need something more visceral.
Visceral? Sorry. My vocabulary is very not big. Again, I'm an idiot.
Got it. You need to hear what bad things are gonna happen. You know how Miami is a city?
Yeah.
It's going to instead be the ocean.
Awesome. Like my favorite movie, Waterworld.
Oh, you have bad taste because you're dumb.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Okay, how about this? New York City will be as hot as the tropics, and the tropics will grow so hot they will be uninhabitable. Hurricanes and typhoons and wildfires will just become the weather. Tens of millions of climate refugees will have to flee their homes because of rising sea levels or famine. And for those of you with no empathy, that's not just in other places, it's here. As all of Earth gets as hot as sub-Saharan Africa, mosquitoes will spread across the globe, infecting as many as 5 billion people with malaria.
I just shit my pants.
Yeah, it's fucking scary stuff.
I'm gonna go check on my pants.
Sounds like a plan. You know, the last time there was this much climate change in a short period, it led to mass extinction that killed 97% of all life on Earth. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's official response to all of it is fuck it. They're actually pushing for more environmental deregulation. Why? Because they're protecting the interests of a very small group of absurdly rich and powerful people. According to The Guardian, 71% of global carbon emissions stem from just 100 corporations. That's it. Just 100 giant billionaire businesses that fill the right pockets to get the devil's job done. Our only chance for survival is an about-face, investing in renewable energy, which would not only save the planet, but create an incredible boom in jobs. You know, California incentivized clean energy, and as a result, now has 8.5 green jobs for every 1 job in fossil fuels. Yet the Trump administration is actually suing to stop them. Please follow the money on that one. So should we all just assume we're truly and properly fucked? I mean, yes. Sorry. It's just, it would be disingenuous to sugarcoat it. At the same time, we cannot give up, because fighting their nihilism with more nihilism is what they're banking on. If we don't fight these 100 corporations, they get their money and we get to die. And the fucking disgusting irony of it, of all of it, is that the billionaires who have created this global atrocity are gonna be the ones to survive it. They're gonna be fine. While we all cook to death in a planet-sized hot car, they will be safe in their Martian biodome, stuffing robot sex slaves in their penthouse fuck suite. So the only option is we react to this massive state of emergency with massive action. We should be doing the opposite of every single thing this administration is doing. The world has to come together to fight this man-made apocalypse, or we are fucked.
We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests.
Wow, that was so, like, not dumb.
We will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday.
Wait, this is the speech from the end of Independence Day.
Yeah, but it's really good.
I mean, swap aliens for climate change, and it's pretty much the same. It's the same movie. Wait, just finish it. Finish your speech.
Really?
Yeah, we're all gonna die anyway.
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
We'll be right back. Or will we? Recently a guest on The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, you're gonna look so dumb because I got video proof. Watch this.
Welcome back. These days, so much of our political conversation happens on Twitter. But what does this intersection of politics and social media mean for our culture? We're joined by our panelists in Los Angeles, actor, comedian, and politically active Twitter user Sarah Silverman, and the right-wing Twitterverse's newest superstar, Bramby Streeter. Bramby, let's start with you. Earlier this week, this tweet of yours went viral reading, quote, "Why don't I need feminism? I have AR 15 reasons." What were you trying to say?
Well, Lawrence, there are a lot of coastal elites who want to make it illegal to love America, but real Americans know defending liberty is the most pro-woman thing of all.
You know, no offense, Bramby, but honestly, it seems like every conservative pundit on TV reads from the same, 10-phrase glossary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you triggered? Because the only trigger warning I need is the safety is off.
That was a good one.
I know.
You know, I think this exchange leads me to my next question. Is social media making us more divided?
You know, Lawrence, I think in many ways it brings us together, and in many ways it does divide us. Certainly if you're only getting your news from Trump's incoherent tweets.
President Trump lives rent-free in your head every day.
Bramby, take me through how you came up with that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you triggered? Because the only trigger warning I need is the safety is off.
You said that already.
You said that already.
Okay, first off, I do sound like that. Secondly, who are you? Where do you come from? Every other week, there's some new young conservative Barbie doll who comes out of nowhere.
Well, so much for the tolerant left build a wall. Lock her up! Benghazi, nothing burger. Benghazi, coastal elite.
Is she okay?
You know, I don't know. I actually don't even know where we got her. She just showed up wearing a lapel mic.
Bramby?
I'm a proud, gun-loving, God-fearing, red state deplorable, real American from...
Hey, can we check on Bramby?
From...
Where do you come from? Where do you come from?
Your name is Bramby Streeter. Your name is Sloozy Guggle.
What happens when I'm not young anymore?
Be afraid.
It is now time for you to be armed with your most dangerous weapon.
Bramby? Stay with me, Bramby. Stay with me. Look, we're gonna say Merry Christmas again.
No more happy holidays.
Nope. No more happy holidays. And no more gender-neutral bathrooms either.
2 bathrooms, 2 genders.
Yes. Yes.
What's happening? I'm so scared.
It's okay. You don't have to be afraid. Heaven is filled with guys with guns.
Good guys with guns.
Great guys with guns.
Liberal tears.
I know they're your favorite. Bramby. Oh, God. Bramby!
Well, looks like we lost Bramby. Our thanks to Sarah Silverman. Coming up after the break, the new right-wing social media star who's driving the left up a wall. Meet Sloozy Guggle.
He is a veteran of the George W. Bush White House, managed John McCain's presidential campaign, and this June, he announced he was leaving the Republican Party. Please welcome a guy I've admired my entire summer, Steve Schmidt. So you left the Republican Party this summer.
I did.
What took you so long?
You know, the straw that broke the camel's back for me were the baby internment camps. We're grabbing kids from the breasts of mothers, putting them into detention facilities. It's as cruel a policy as we've ever seen inflicted by the government of the United States. And it represents for me this moment of finality, the corruption of the conservative movement, of the Republican Party as it's fully become the party of Trump.
You said the party of Trump has to be obliterated. So how do we go about doing that isn't a civil war or an apocalypse?
The way that it is repudiated is through an election. It needs to be burned to the ground. The analogy I've used is a forest fire. A forest fire destroys the forest, but in its destruction, it purifies it, and new growth comes as a result. It's part of the natural life cycle. So this needs to be burned down.
Right, out of the ashes.
And out of the ashes, we hopefully see a period of American renewal. We need to have 2 functioning parties in a 2-party system. This moment that we have with Trump, I think there's a real lack of imagination in the country for the magnitude of the tragedy someone as incompetent, as ignorant as he is able to cause from the power that comes with that office.
There are people who cannot imagine that this could be true, that a president can't lie, and yet everything he says is a lie. He just has the cadence of truth. He sounds like he's shooting from the hip and telling it like it is, but he's not, he's lying.
He lies constantly. He lied 3,000 times in 1 year, and his lies are different than typical politician lies. Most politician lies are self-interested ones. It's about self-preservation. You know, we think about the most famous lie of the era, Bill Clinton. I didn't have sex with that woman. It's a lie of self-interest.
I would say weapons of mass destruction is up there, too, no offense, friend.
I think mistakes and lies are different things, but the point with Trump is this. They're lies of authority, because it requires you to submit to a proposition that what is true is what the leader believes is true. So what we see is Donald Trump going to mass rallies, inciting the audience with constant lying and scapegoating vulnerable minority populations. Second thing he does is he creates a sense of victimization and virtue in victimization. He alleges conspiracies, and then he asserts himself as the protector, the avenger of the afflicted, the aggrieved, and victimized populations to protect them from the deep state conspiracy and the hordes of, say, Mexicans running across the border. It's dangerous, it's illiberal, and it's profoundly un-American, and it's something that needs to be repudiated by the only people who can repudiate it, and that's the American people in an election.
Yeah. Does he know he's doing it? I can't like fathom that he's that smart even in an evil way, but there is something he's got that is...
He has an
He knows what he's doing?
He has an instinct for incitement. And what happened was this inciter, this performer, this reality show star found his way to this ideology, and he feeds off the crowd. He fuels the anger, he fuels the resentment, he picks up on it, and he's made a political movement out of it.
It's not like he's an evil genius. It truly is a gift. Yeah, it was like that was been given by the devil. You're still a traditional conservative, so how do you reconcile that you are out there pushing for a blue wave these midterms?
Well, look, I'm an American before I'm a Republican. I'm a small L liberal in that I believe in liberal democracy. I believe in pluralism. I believe in the dignity of the human being. One of the institutions that the Democratic Party may be able to salvage when it stands up against Trumpism, defeats it, is the Republican Party itself. Because the Republican Party is an institution worth saving, and it's an institution that can only be saved at this moment in time by the Democratic Party, who can defeat it and rebuke Trumpism for all time.
What is the price of the Kavanaugh confirmation?
It's a high price. He may serve on that court for 40 years. He could serve on that court till he's in his 90s. He could be on the court in 2058. And what will always be true is half the country...
Oh my God, I'll be in my 30s.
You'll be in your 30s. Half the country will always view him as illegitimate. They will always view it as a corrupted process. And so the net effect of this is that the Supreme Court has been degraded through this process. And I don't care where you come down on this issue, but if you look at it through this prism, Chuck Grassley has been there for 38 years. Dianne Feinstein has been there for 26, which means those two have worked together in a body of 100 people for 26 years. They're both pushing 90 years old. She's running for re-election. And this is the outcome of the work product? This is the outcome we get? Holy shit. And it's astounding to watch it. And so the Senate looks like a kangaroo court. The Judiciary Committee looks like a kangaroo court on steroids. The FBI played the patsy here with the sham investigation that it was ordered to conduct by the White House. And to really a fundamental degree, the only way that Kavanaugh could have ever demonstrated worthiness for the seat for a lifetime on the Supreme Court was to withdraw from the process, but his ambition was more important, superseded the integrity of the institution.
Who can beat Trump in 2020?
The next president will always have opposite virtues of the last president. Now, Democrats will make a mistake if they get into a dishonest contest with Donald Trump, because it's impossible to beat him in a dishonesty contest.
He's the best at it.
And if you stand up and, you know, with respect to Robert De Niro, but if the message is fuck Trump, well, Trump wins the vileness contest too. And so what Democrats, I think, need to understand is that there's a difference between toughness and meanness. Meanness and cruelty are different than toughness, and the Democrats are going to need to have a very tough candidate. You're going to see a 20-person field, and it's going to be no holds barred. It's going to be wide open. And, you know, through that process, hopefully, you know, comes forward someone who can win a general election and take them on.
I hope you work for one of them. Thank you so much, Steve. Steve Schmidt, everybody. All right. I'm going to wrap up the show, and then I'm gonna turn back to you, and let's do one of those like 80s freeze frames, and then they'll run the credits with like royalty-free music over it.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
ready? All right, here we go. My thanks to Steve Schmidt, Milana Weintraub, and Lawrence O'Donnell. Good night, America. I love you.